Well, welcome to Module 4 in this series of 5 modules on Power Partner Relationships. Now, Power Partners is the best way to get accelerated growth of your sales, your revenue, your personal income, and it's about getting actively promoted by other businesses, organizations, and associations. So we're a little bit more than halfway through here, but in the first few modules we talked about how and why to set up these relationships. And it's basically a way to get you in front of the ideal clients that you want to be in front of. Well, there's other businesses and organizations that have been serving them for a long time, and if we can create a way to get them to introduce us to their clients, that's amazing. So that's the power of this program. So again, being extremely actively promoted by other companies, in a lot of cases for free. So it's not like you're paying for advertising and you hope you get something out of it. Power Partners will put you in front of their customers if we do the work and we do the preparation. So the other modules that we've looked at so far are alignment and approach. Today we're featuring agreement, and the next one is going to be action. But in alignment, we're looking at what's the alignment between our two companies? What do we share in terms of our vision, our mission, our goals, our values, in terms of how we're trying to reach these clients, and what's the benefit that we give to these clients? What are we trying to do to up-level our presentation in the world? So we spend some time looking at the alignment between us and the target partner companies that we're trying to reach out to, and that helps us frame our approach to them. So please go back and look at these if you haven't looked at them in a little while. It'll be really great preparation and support as we start to think about the agreements we want to create. So part of what we're going to talk about in this module are the 9 different ways and 9 different forms, 9 different agreements that you can create with a power partner to induce them or excite them about putting you in front of all their clients. Because this one's going to take a little while, I'm actually breaking this up into a couple different videos. I'm going to do some bonus videos. One is I'm going to go through some of these and give you live examples and samples and show you actually how I've created these in the past, instead of just giving you the generic overview, which we're going to do today. I usually at the end of each of the modules have some power tips that help you accelerate this and really take it out there in a more powerful way. They help you with frameworks and mindsets to take this out there. Because this one's going to run a little longer, I'm going to do another bonus video that's just on some of the advanced and accelerated techniques for how we go about getting agreement with our power partners. So my name's Kevin Murray. I'm the creator of this Power Partners Relationships process, and I'm the founder of Energize Your Business programs. I help business owners grow their income and build their business systems so they can enjoy greater prosperity today while they're enjoying their lives and building their business. And they can also build a more valuable company when it comes time to look at selling the company or making a strategic exit and moving on to the next phase of their lives. So one example I just want to give you of a power partner relationship that took advantage of this agreement component, really highlights some of this, was back when I was doing my lighting energy conservation projects. And ideal clients for me, and that's always the first part of this process, who are your best clients? Because that's who we want to get in front of. We don't want to have our power partners promote us to just anybody. We want them putting us in front of their best clients that we want to be in front of. So I was serving bigger buildings like school systems, hospitals, factories, and supermarkets. So I had a relationship with an electrical contractor that did some work for me. And once a month, he would go into these supermarkets, and through the month, the supermarket employees would say, oh, we've got a couple bad lamps in aisle 7, and there's a light out in the dairy display case. And once a month, this contractor would send out a couple guys with the right lamps, and they'd go in and spot relamp, and they'd replace the lamps that were out. So it was an ongoing, recurring contract. It wasn't worth a whole lot of money, but it was an introduction that he had to the account, and he was able to invite me in. So the agreement that we crafted had a whole bunch of different components. Basically, I would not only give him all the labor, so my projects, I'm replacing every fixture in the whole building. So he's going to get a huge amount of labor versus the little bit of labor he's doing month to month. So that was the first part of the agreement, that he got all the labor. I also paid him a finder's fee for making the introduction. So he got a big, huge project, plus just like a bonus check for doing this handshake introduction for me. And what I asked him to do in exchange was simply make an introduction to the client and set up that first meeting, and he joined me for that first meeting. And I also asked him if he would do the samples that we always did for clients for free, and share a little bit of the risk that we'd get the project. So we put this all together. We had a multi-part agreement of how we were going to work together, but we generated in less than 9 months about $750,000 worth of projects, with a ton of labor going to his company, a whole bunch of finder's fee bonus checks going in his pocket, and a really lovely chunk of business for me. So it was a great, great example of the agreement component of this 4-part process of creating power partner relationships. So I know you can't wait to hear about the 9 ways you can get promoted for free, but before we get into that, I want to create a little bit of context and just tee up a couple ideas that'll help you think through this preparatory process. Because again, it's really important to recall that we talked about in the previous modules, this is a framework that you use to prepare for meeting with a power partner. It also creates the presentation tools that you need to sit down in front of them and walk them through your program. But this is a preparatory tool. So one of the most important things when we're preparing to get in front of the partner is to bring options. So just think about it. If you go to a potential power partner, you've got your target list that we did back in the earlier module, and you're thinking about approaching this power partner, and if you bring in one idea, say, how about this? We'll send out an email and you promote us, and for every client we get, we'll give you $500. That might seem like a good idea to you. It's some easy money for them. Even if you've done a great job thinking through the alignment and it's a natural fit for you and this other company, and they'll get great value by bringing you in front of their clients, and they like that. If you only give them one option and they don't like it, then their choice is either they work with you or they don't. So that's a 50-50 shot. I like better odds than that. So by bringing them options, if you bring them 3 or 4 options that you've prepared in advance, now they can look at those and they're thinking, maybe, yeah, I don't like this one. Oh, but I like this one. Or maybe we'll combine these two. So the more options you bring, then their posture and their response is more about, well, which one of these do we choose? And again, the presumption is you've done a really good job thinking through the alignment and the approach. So they're already likely to be thinking about how this is going to work, not whether or not it should. But you got to bring them options so they can make a choice. And in terms of the goals for the preparation versus the goals for the presentation, in our preparation, we want to develop a lot of options. So we're going to talk about at least 9 ways to do that. In the presentation, the goal is to have them choose at least one way that they're going to partner with us and promote us. That's the result we're after. If they choose more than one, great, but we want them to choose at least one, so the more options we can bring them, the better. One other important kind of consideration that I want to put out there as we're thinking through these 9 different ways to get promoted is that these relationships can be financially based or not. Some of my most successful partners didn't take and didn't want to take a finder's fee or a piece of my client success. They just felt there was a strong enough reason to put me in front of their clients because it was bringing them more value, and it made the power partner look good. A good example of that is a CPA firm that I worked with. They wanted to introduce me to their clients because I was bringing them great savings and a technology upgrade in their buildings, and it made them look good that they were offering more than just their accounting and tax prep and CPA services. And they also didn't want to, from an ethical perspective, be earning a finder's fee. It might have been against the ethical standards for the industry. But I've had other partners that work that way. It's like, no, don't give me any money. Just if you get us business, we'll bring you business. It'll all work out. Those can work great. On the other hand, if you can pay a financial fee or a finder's fee or a percentage of the project or the sale to your partner, that might be the thing that gets them a little more interested and motivated and being more actively involved in promoting your business. So they can go either way. And when you're thinking about your preparation, It might be really clear with this partner target, you don't want to have it be financial, but with this one you do, and you can always ask them if they have a preference. So it's just something to be thinking about as we start to go through these 9 possibilities. All right, well, here we go, starting with number 1. It could be as simple as an email. So a couple things I want to mention about how an email can be a really great partner tool. For one, you don't want to ask them for their list. You want them to send out the email. So we don't want the email coming from us mentioning this partner, because these people on that list, they don't know us, they don't like us, they don't trust us yet. They know, like, and trust the partner, and that's a critical part of the foundation of this whole program. So we want to write the email, though. We don't want to say to the partner, why don't you write an email and introduce us and we'll help you with that. We want to make this as easy as possible for the partner. So we want to write the email, and when we talk about the agreement, and please download the prep form that's attached with all these modules, we want to get an agreement of how many emails they're going to send, when they're going to send them, which list they're going to send them to. We have to dial all of these in to be very specific, not just, well, how about you send out an email? Okay, great, we'll do that someday. Want you to send one the first week, then we'll send one on the second week, and then maybe the third week we'll do something else, we'll do a mailer or a phone call, and again, we'll talk about some of those possibilities. But again, the keys for emails, we write them, we make it easy, and they send it to their list on our behalf, and you need to do multiple emails. You can't do one and hope that's going to be enough of an impact. So another important concept as we go through all these is they can be mutual, but they don't have to be. You know, maybe we'll send an email out to promote them. We don't have to. You know, it also could be for past clients that they haven't touched in a while. Maybe this is a great way for them to touch them with our offer and our value and our benefit that we're bringing them. So number 2 is mail. So the post office, we put together a mailing. So similarly to an email, what works best here is we do all the work. Another thing that's really valuable in all these cases, if we can show them, hey, here's the sample email that I wrote. Why don't we take a look at this and you let me know how this sounds, and it features them and it talks about their clients, and then it makes our offer. If we can show them in advance, because we've prepared this whole process, here's the email that we'd like to send, what do you think? So if we get them involved in editing the email, we're halfway there. They didn't say, no, I don't want to do it. They might say, no, I want to change this paragraph, and we'll put this here, we'll add this. So same with mail. It could be a letter, it could be a pen or a book, it could be a special article, it could be a trifold. There's a lot of different things we can mail, but the same kind of rules apply. I don't want to ask the partner for their mailing list. I could, and they might give it, but I really want to respect that. Part of this relationship is also letting there be risk on the table. We want to let the client know, the power partner rather, know that there might be some risk, and we want to help them manage it. So we're going to let them keep the list and manage the list. We're not interested in that. So for a mailer, we also want to do everything. So we're going to prepare the mailer, we're going to provide the postage, we're going to fill the envelopes, we're going to fill the box, we do everything we do, and maybe we let them put the mailing label on and send it. So, or we'll even go pick it up and we'll bring it to the post office. But a mailer is another great way. It's a nice physical touch above and beyond email, which can be phenomenal. But I like getting something in the potential client's hands. So if they get a mailer from a company that's been serving them for a long time, they're going to open it, they're going to look at it, they're going to see the return address is this company that they know. They're likely to open that, and then it's going to feature my promotion, my value, my benefit, whatever I'm offering to their clients. Number 3, again, it's just a different format. It's a fax. So I'm old school in a lot of ways. I love the idea of a fax. Sometimes I'll make a big header on it, and a lot of companies, their faxes go through email. Some people still print out an 8x11 page when a fax comes in. But a fax is just another way to touch people. I have another video, maybe I'll attach it as a bonus here on mini campaigns. And the idea of mini campaigns is we don't know how people like to be touched in outreach and promotion and marketing, so we've got to touch them different ways. So they could be auditory, they could be visual, or they could be kinesthetic. So if we do an email, then maybe next week, the second week we'll do a mailer, and the third week we'll do a fax, and then the fourth week we'll do another fax or a phone call. So I'll include the mini campaign along with this one so you can get an idea of how to knit together one or two or three of these different techniques to make a mini campaign for a partner promotion. But a fax can be a really great way, and we want to reinforce the messages. If we have a message that we're sending by email and then week 2 we're going to send a fax, they want to be mutually reinforcing and telling the same story. Number 4 is a display. So a lot of places, a display makes a lot of sense. If it's a doctor's office or a retail store, could be a country club, a car dealer, any place where there's a lot of foot traffic, and our partners' clients are going through their facility all day long and all week long, we could make up a nice display. Again, to be able to have a demo to bring to the partner presentation and say, well, here's an example of a display, and you can see it prominently features you and your logo and your company, and it makes an offer. And for more information, they can get in touch with your salespeople, or they can get in touch with us directly. So by being able to talk with the partner, like, well, what do you think of this idea of a display? And what would you prefer them to call you or call us so you can track it? Like, how do you want to do that? If we start getting them to imagine and make decisions on the details of the execution, you're done. You're 99% of the way there. They're not saying, no, I don't want to do a display. They're saying, well, yeah, maybe we'll put it over here. So that'd be a great question. Like, where do you think the best place for a display would be? We're not asking them, do you want to do a display? Where's the best place to put it? And if they're looking around and thinking, again, we're over the hump. Number 5. Postcards. I'm a big fan of postcards. Again, it's a physical tool. There's a lot of different ways that they can be used. They can be done as a self-mailer. And again, we write it, we produce it, we pay the cost of the printing. You know, we could ask for more support from our partners in terms of doing some of this stuff, but as I'll talk about in the accelerated and advanced techniques, the more that we do, the more that we make it easy for them. All I want my partners to do is say yes. If I can do everything else and they're going to promote me to the clients that they're already serving that I want to be in front of, I just want to get the yes. I'll do everything else because they're going to put me in front of 10, 20, 50, 100 potential clients that I'm loving to be in front of. So postcards could be used by their salespeople. Let's say it's our partner could be a real estate company. We make up a nice postcard that they go hand out to their people. You know, as they're out in the world, whether or not they get the listing that they want or they find the buyer they want, say, hey, here's another way we want to say thank you for being a customer. Here's this, you know, postcard, or here's this offer from one of our partner companies that we enjoy. We'd like you to get the benefit of them. You know, if the company has salespeople, they can be handing those out as part of their presentation or as a little thank you. So again, I love postcards. They're really inexpensive to make. I think they can be fairly high impact. So I think they're also can be done quickly. So you can be really responsive and flexible using postcards. Number 6 is Weblinks. We could ask them if they would put a link to our business or a special offer from our site on their website. Again, we can reciprocate. Not all of these things need to be reciprocal or bilateral. Sometimes it helps a whole lot. Sometimes it's not necessary. But you really need to think about each partner and each of these different possibilities. But you know, would you be willing to put a web link on our site? Sometimes I'll just give a whole bunch of options, and I'm really okay if they say, no, we're not interested in that. All right, great, we'll take that one off the table. But they're making choices, they're making decisions how they want to work. So I'm fine if they throw 6, 7, 8 of these away, as long as they keep one. Number 7 is an event. So maybe they're already doing an event, and we could simply, you know, be there, be present, get a booth, have a table, have a poster, you know, have some presence there. You know, maybe we have an event and we'd like to invite their people. We'd like to get them to invite their list. so we're getting our offer in front of more people. Or maybe we co-create an event down the road where we jointly sponsor something, and we email and they do a mailing, and we jointly promote it. But event can be a lot of fun and probably a little more of an advanced technique depending on your business. As you're starting off this Power Partners approach, I usually recommend that you start a little simpler, try one or two of these components, and then maybe you can add in an event, or you can add in some of these other things. But you'll know what makes sense for you. So an event is number 7. Number 8 is with the sales team. One of my best Power Partner relationships was a company that had 18 salespeople in my geographical region, calling on manufacturers and commercial buildings that I wanted to be in front of. So this company had been serving these people for 10 years or more. I made up a really nice binder for every individual salesperson that gave them a little mini introduction to what my business was about. And the goal was just to have them set up an appointment for me. I might have mentioned in one of the earlier modules, just one of the sales from one of those salespeople with this binder was a $500,000 sale. I paid them a finder's fee. The salesperson got a $10,000 check from me in addition to getting a big, huge material order for that project. So if you're a business owner and you've got a bunch of salespeople, and I come to you and I say, hey, how about if I can pay your salespeople some commission? Wouldn't that be great? So they'll get rewarded. It comes out of my pocket instead of yours. Is that something we could talk about? And I think a lot of business owners will be open to that concept. Number 9 is social sharing. So we've got all these different social media tools, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, there's a lot of other ones. Maybe we come up with a way that they'll promote by their Facebook page. If they've got a really good social engagement, they'll promote us on their Facebook page, they'll promote us on their LinkedIn page, they'll share articles we write or videos that we might shoot that might be around our promotion. So again, this is just 9 ways. I'm sure there's some more, but this is a great way to get started. And again, with each potential Power Partner target, and you should have your target list from the earlier module, you kind of think through, which ones are more likely. You don't have to give an example of each of these for every Power Partner, but maybe you say, well, maybe we could do an emailer or mailer, do something with your salespeople, or we do an event. How does that sound? Oh, and are you guys active in social media? Well, you should already know that before you sit down with somebody. So you can ask them, or you could say, I saw your Facebook page and you got 3,000 people that are affiliated with your Facebook page. Would you consider doing something there? So again, we're breaking this one down. There's going to be a couple bonus videos where we'll talk about examples and samples of these different options and possibilities for our Power Partners. And we're going to have a whole nother video that's going to talk about the advanced and accelerated techniques. But one of the things I recommend all the time is, actually do this stuff, to get the downloads, write this out, spend a little time. It might only be 10 or 15 minutes. Have one target company in mind as a Power Partner that you'd like to approach, that they're already serving the clients that you want, and start thinking through these things. What's your alignment with these people? What is your approach going to be? That you guys are promoting this. Well, I'm promoting something kind of like that. This makes sense for us to talk. Once we get in front of them, we want to bring them a bunch of different options for what the agreement could be about what we're going to do. And at the bottom of it, we need to be really specific. How many emails, how often, who's going to write it, who does this, who does that. So the more specific we can be, the better, so they can make choices. So we've got some other videos coming. In the meantime, always be clear, be energized, and be grateful.